create. If you design your own protocol, some new functions you will have to create. Okay, because always you cannot write inside the source code. Means inside the functions that are already available. You will have to create your own functions. Okay, but those functions will be linked to the previously available variables only. Means like node variable means how to get node. For getting the node, you will have to use this command only. Okay, with the ID of the node. For getting coordinates, you will have to use this command. For getting the energy of node, you will have to use this command. Like this, you will have to do. Okay. Okay, so now, okay. So if anybody has any doubt, they can ask. And if anybody doesn't have any doubt, I will be moving towards defining a malicious node. Okay. However, defining a malicious node is not a big issue, but you will be learning some things in the process. So that those things will be very easy for you. Those things will be very helpful for you in future. Okay, so now let us define some malicious node. I will be commenting these lines now. Okay, so the code is same as the original code. Okay, I have commented all the lines, whatever I inserted. Yeah, okay, all the lines are commented. Now we will start the simulation of malicious node. Okay, so what is a malicious node? In the network, a node having some unusual behavior will be termed as malicious. Okay, suppose it is using some different modulation scheme than the normal the other nodes of the network, or many things. You can define malicious node as you want. Means, okay, whatever property you want to decide, you can decide for defining the malicious node. Okay. Now, what I will do, I will tell you how to define a malicious node. Properties you may decide whatever property you want, and how to detect it and how to drop the packet coming from it. Okay. Now, first, let us go into mobile node.h. Okay. Why I am going into this file? The node is malicious node or not is the property of node. Okay. So, there should be a variable included in mobile node.h file that defines whether this is a malicious node or not. I personally always define new variables in public domain. Okay, because it becomes very easy for you to learn to use these files. If you write in protected or private, like we were getting the error yesterday, we will be getting that kind of error. First, we will define, suppose, double malicious node. Suppose malcious. Malicious node. Malicious underscore variable we have defined. Okay. Now, what does it mean? It means that the nodes will be having one more variable, like x underscore we defined, y underscore we defined, z underscore we defined. So, the nodes will be having one more variable named malicious. Okay. And now, since I told you, you will be learning many things in process. So, please pay attention. Now, we have defined mobile node.h, the variable in mobile node.h. Now, let us go to mobile node.cc. Why? I will tell you. There is a thing called constructor in C++. Okay. So, if you don't know no worries. Always search for, if you define any new variable, first find the class name in which you have defined it. Okay. So what is the name of the class? Class mobile node. Okay. This is the class. Class mobile node. Public node, this is the, it has taken the properties of node class. Forget it. Whatever you see here after written class, this is the name of the class. Class mobile node. Now search for similar class in .cc mobile node, and you will always see whatever the name of the class, the one function of same name is defined in the class itself. So you can see the class name is mobile node, function name is mobile node. Okay, so this is the function mobile node. What this function is called? It is called a constructor. Okay, don't worry about the name if you don't know. However, some of you might be knowing it. What a constructor does, whenever you define a new variable, it assigns it a initial value. Okay, so like here, x underscore, y underscore, z underscore, speed underscore was assigned value 0 initially. Okay, here dx underscore, di underscore, all the values are assigned zeros initially, some value minus 1, like this. Means every variable is assigned a initial value. Why it is assigned? Because if we use this variable somewhere and if we have not assigned any value, then it will create a problem. Okay, there is a common error called segmentation fault code dump. Okay, segmentation fault code dump. If most of you might have known this thing, might be knowing this thing if you have heard on it. So always write the initial value. So what is the name of the initial value? What is the name of the variable? Malicious. M-A-L-I-C-I-O-U-S. I will be giving this value as 0. Okay. Malicious underscore was the variable name. Please pay attention whatever I am telling you. What I have done, I have defined one variable in public domain, malicious underscore, that is double type. Okay, malicious, and in the constructor, this function mobile node, I have defined its initial value 0. 0 means what? What I am thinking, any variable that is not defined as malicious will be having the value of malicious underscore as 0. Okay. If it is defined, then if it is defined malicious, then it will be having value 1. Okay. It is what I am trying to write. Okay. Now, how we can define a malicious node? We can define a malicious node by 2 methods. What are those methods? First method is we can define it in TCL file itself. Okay. Second method is we can define it in source codes. Okay, in the C++ file. What is the difference between these things? If you want to define malicious node at the beginning of your simulation, okay, suppose you have created a scenario for 50 nodes and you want that node ID 25 is malicious, 37 is malicious and 50 is malicious. Okay. Then you can do what? You can define the value of malicious in the TCL file itself. But on the other hand, if you want to check some properties of node, suppose a node is moving at the speed more than 40 meter per second. Suppose any property you can select. If a node is moving at the speed more than 40, then you can say what? This is a malicious node. Suppose you are defining that a malicious node. So what you will have to do then? Don't initialize malicious node in the TCL file. Initialize malicious node in the source codes. Okay, anywhere you can assign. Okay, so I will tell you the TCL file way as well as this thing also if the time permits. We have sufficient amount of time left. So let us see first thing, how we can define malicious from the TCS file. Now go to wlab1.tcl. Here. Okay, so let me tell you some things about NS2 which many researchers do wrong. Okay, what these things are, as in previous lecture, after previous webinar, I get in the feedback some person was saying to learn NSG. Okay, NSG is what? NSG is a tool to create scenario. Okay, very good, means it is a good tool. You can create scenario in a very simple manner. I am telling you all this TCL file. It might be tough for you if you write your code, means movement of nodes you are defining using your code. It is difficult. Okay, by NSG you can design your scenario very easily, but you should never use these kind of tools. Sumo is different thing. Sumo you can use. I will tell you why. Okay. When you will use NSG, many things will be left. Many things will be left means you will not be knowing the details. Since NSG is GUI based, so you will not be knowing many details of the program. Okay, suppose what does this thing do, what does this thing do. So that is okay. If you want to create a normal scenario, NSG is very good. But suppose if you want to create a scenario for a different type of network, that is generally the case. Means generally no one conduct his research on normal mobile ad hoc network. Generally no one does. You conduct your research on cognitive networks or cellular network or suppose vehicular networks or sensor networks. For that purpose, NSG, if you use NSG for creating scenario, you won't be able to incorporate the values used in those simulations. Means for suppose you are using cognitive radio network, the TCL file for cognitive radio ad hoc network is not created using NSG. You cannot create it. Why you cannot create it? Because there are many, suppose in the source code of cognitive radio network, some variables are used that are to be defined in TCL file. Those NSG will not be knowing. Okay. So you should not use NSG. It is a good software. I am not saying for learning purpose you can use it, but if you want to learn, if you want to simulate a new protocol, you should always create your TCL file by writing the code. Okay, so that is important. The second thing is Sumo. Sumo is very good tool to create your own scenario, but I will suggest you to use Sumo always with respect to OpenStreetMap. There is one thing, the video I will send you, it will tell you the complete process. OpenStreetMap.org is a site, okay, that generates the real world scenario. However, it is generally used for vehicular networks. Okay, so with the help of OpenStreetMap.org and Sumo, you can create your own realistic scenario. It's real world scenario, how the traffic moves on in the, suppose you want to get the scenario of London, a street in London, then you can get the average traffic value for that particular area what you want. But if you use Sumo just to create a simple road and move the vehicles on it, then I will suggest you to directly use TCL file. Okay, because as much as you depend on tools, these GUI tools, then you will be missing many things. Okay, these in NS2 or generally you should write your code if it is possible for you. Okay. So I will suggest. However, Sumo is a very good tool. You will have to use it for creating a real world scenarios. So I will be sending the link and you will be learning from that. However, in Sumo there are many errors you will be getting. Okay, when you run it, some errors will be there and you will have to resolve it. However, everything is available on that video, and if something is missing, because everything gets updated, so you can search it on internet, no problem in that. Okay. However, if it is possible, I will be taking a webinar on these things, suppose Sumo, NSG, all these things. Okay, but for this webinar, my main concern was on source codes. Okay, so let us see how we can define malicious node. First thing is, I told you we will define malicious node using TCL file. So here we are defining X, Y, Z like this. Okay, leave it. By using this loop, we define all the nodes. If you remember, value of NN is the maximum number of nodes. That is 150 we have taken. Now what we can do? We can define malicious node here. Suppose node 5 is a node 5 set malicious underscore 1. Okay, if you write this set underscore 5 to node underscore 5 set malicious underscore 1, then what will happen? The value which we have provided here as 0 will be overwritten by 1. Okay, but how it will be overwritten? Using the bind. Okay, bind function. What is bind function? This one. Like speed x underscore was initialized as 0, but later it has taken this value from the TCL file. Similarly, the malicious value will be taken from the TCL file, but we will have to write a small command for that. What command? Suppose malicious, we are using comma and okay. So these are, what will happen now? This malicious value will be written in this malicious. Okay, this variable value will not be 0 now for node 5. For node 5, this value is not 0 now. This is 1. Similarly, let us see. Let us copy and paste this line and define at least 10 node as malicious. Okay. Suppose 5, 15, 25, 35, 45, 55, 65, 75, 51, 52. Okay. Now what will happen now? All the nodes which are written here 5, 15, 25 like this, all these nodes will be termed as malicious. Okay, let us run this program, run this means rebuild it to check whether there is any syntax error or not. Always write a small part of program and rebuild it so that you should know that there is no error in there. If there is any error, correct it. If you write a large amount of program, suppose 15 to 20 lines if you write at once, and if there is any error, then it will be a problem for you, because not in every error you will be finding the line number. Okay, like segmentation fault cool down, you will not be getting any line number. Okay. So some of the words I am using might be unknown to you, so you can ask if you want. So my code ran successfully, means it is rebuilt successfully. So there is no syntax error present. Let us see what happens now. However, if I run it at this time, this code, nothing will happen. Okay. What will happen? Only some nodes are defined malicious, but you will never know what is happening to the packets for those nodes, because we have not defined anything like that. Okay. So suppose for our scenario, we are defining that if a node receives something, a packet from a malicious node, then it will drop it. So now in mobile node.gc we have defined these things. Now in anywhere, means in all the source code of NS2, wherever the property of nodes we can fetch. Okay, we can fetch the malicious property as well. Okay, like x-axis, y-axis and speed, we can fetch the malicious node as well. So go to the receive function. Where is receive function? Receive data function is there and one function is receive. Okay. So now let us go in the receive function. Okay. Now what we will have to do, think it from beginning. We have defined a malicious node. How we have defined a malicious node? By assigning it a variable named malicious underscore. If the value of that variable is 0, it is not malicious, means it is a normal node. If it is malicious node, then the value of that variable is 1. Okay. Now, in the receive function, okay, remember it, in the receive function, we always receive a packet. Okay, a packet, a handler is there, forget about the handler for now. We receive a packet. Okay, a packet is received, but which node is receiving it, we don't know. Okay, so how we can know which node is receiving it? It is a very simple question. I have told you already. This is in the yesterday's session. Using the packet, what a packet has? The header and data as well. So data is okay, but we can get a lot of information about the packet from the header field. What those informations are? Like source node. Okay, some flags are there that whenever we use it, we will have to search for it. But currently our interest is the source node of it. Okay, and the value of source node we can get from where? We can get the value of source node from IP header. If you remember this, from IP header we can get. Okay. So let us go at the receive function again. So what we will have to do? This thing we will have to paste it, and here we will write IP header. IP header means just write IP here. You will have to copy paste things. Okay. Not every time you have to write. Means if you work on NS2 for 1 or 2 months, then you will know that we have to just copy and paste a lot of things. Okay. Now the properties of this variable we will change. Suppose IP header, we will name it IP header. Now the IP header of P will be inserted in this variable. So how we can get the value of source address from IP header? Simply, I told you yesterday itself, printf. We will print first the value the source is percentage D. Now what is the value? SRC. Okay, but what is SRC? ITHDR SRC. Okay, this is an object ITHDR SRC. Whatever variable SR. Why I am writing these variables? This variable I have selected. I can give any name here. Okay, but this variable is predefined. Where it is predefined? In ip.h file. If you remember, ip.h file here. So src underscore, this one is. So src underscore we can write anywhere we want, where we want to know the source address. So let us print it. /n I will write. So if any node will receive any data, okay, what will happen? It will always print its source address. Okay, so let us rebuild it. This I am just printing. Printing is not required. However, you should always print any value first, because sometimes NH2 behave very unusually. You will be getting many wrong things. So in that case, you will have to rebuild it. So you run it. Okay. See, something extra is happening. No problem. I will stop the simulation in between. What you are getting, the source is 135, 0, 55, 15, 54, 14, 127. Okay, so the source node you are getting. This line is printing. I don't know why it is printing, because I already told you it sometimes it behaves in an unusual manner. So it may, if you give command sudo make clean and sudo make, then sudo make install, then it will be correct. It will be okay. Like this. Here, if you see these lines, source, the source is 66. Means we are getting the source node ID. Source is 0. 57. Like this, we are getting many values. Now let us see whether any of the source is malicious or not. How we will check it? We have got the source ID. By using this source ID, what we can do? We can get all the properties of node. Okay. How we can get all the properties of node? If you remember it, simply I told you yesterday, using this line. Okay, copy this line and paste where you want. Here I will paste this line. Mobile node is equals to mobile node get node by address index underscore. Okay, so index underscore if we cannot use here. Why? It will tell the node ID of receiver. Okay, but not of the source. So we will have to use ITHDR SRC underscore. So this is what? Mobile node. This command will give what? This is an ID. Using this node ID, all the properties of node will be provided in this variable. Okay. This is a pointer. Don't worry about it. You just have to copy and paste this line. If you understand what a pointer is or what a typecast is, then you can understand. Otherwise, you just know. If you want to get the properties of a particular node, you just copy and paste this line, and in this place you write the ID of particular node for which you want the properties. Okay. And all the properties will be in this variable. Now you get these. Now if node malicious underscore is equals to. Okay. If it is a malicious node, then the value of malicious will be what? 1. In that case, what will happen? We will, for now, we will just printf. This is a malicious. Okay. Now at the receiver, we have received something, a packet, and we are checking whether it is from a malicious node or not. If it is from a malicious node, then we will discard it. Okay, but we have not discarded it yet. We are just checking for now. And if it is a malicious node, it will print it. Okay. So, let us see what happens now. Since there are 150 number of nodes, and we have defined only 10 to 12 nodes as malicious, I don't know whether the sender is, the UDP agent is attached with such kind of node or not. Okay, there is some error. ns_agdr. Okay, I am writing something here, you don't worry about it. Okay, I will tell you why I am writing it. Okay, actually it is not an integer. So I am trying to type it. Wait for a minute. Let me resolve this problem. I will tell you how I resolved it. Okay, actually what is the problem here? This is not, the src underscore is not an integer actually. Okay, it is a different data type. So that is why it is not accepting is. accepting it. Why it is not accepting it? Because this function get node by address receives only integer. Okay, so we will have to look another way for it. Okay, this src underscore is not an integer, so we will have to search for another way. So I try to convert it into integer by using typecast method, but it is not working. Okay, so I resolved this problem using a simple search. How I resolved this problem? If we look this file clearly, in IP header, there is something more written here. What? Source underscore, then source address. Something this is written, source address. Now source port. Okay, these things are written. So address might be by the name itself you can understand. I did not know it. I just assumed it. Then, like I told you, many hit and trials you will have to do. So this address might be the address of the node. So but I am not sure. So first we will have to check it using print command. How we will check it? Instead of this, we will write addr underscore. Okay. Now if we print it, for now we will comment it. Now if we print this thing, if this value is less than 150 always, then the code is correct. Whatever we are assuming is correct. Wait a minute. Okay, these things I am commenting for now. I will uncomment it. First we are confirming whether it is the correct thing, whatever we are thinking or not. So just sudo make okay. Almost same things whatever we were getting previously. This same thing please. Okay, these values are under, I will stop it. Okay, these values are under 150. So I think whatever we were thinking is correct. Okay, this value is under 150. Okay, so like this, this way we can assume that it is correct. No value is greater than 150. If you see closely, yeah, 147 it is there. Okay, 142. Okay, so I think whatever we were thinking is okay. So this kind of problem arise many times. You will have to think about it and a slight search you will have to conduct. Okay, because if there is source, if we can access the source, obviously we can be accessing its address. Okay, it must be there in the code. The only matter is how we search it. Okay, now we have got the source address. Now no need of this value. Now let us see whether it will accept it or not. We already ran it. Okay, so it is accepting it. So what I will do, I will uncomment on all these lines. So now what will happen? We are receiving a packet, we are extracting its IP header and checking the source address written in that IP header, and using that source address we are getting the properties of the node in this variable, and we are checking the malicious property, this malicious variable of node, whether it is malicious or not. Okay, if it is malicious, then a line will be printed, this is a malicious node. Let us see. Will it work or not? Is there any malicious node or not? Okay, the code is running, let it run. Okay, here one more small trick I will tell you. Yeah. As I am remembering things, I am telling you. There are many small things which are helpful for you. Okay, now how you will search whether there is any malicious node or not. Here luckily you have got the source node is 53 and this is a malicious node. If you remember wlab1.tcl node number 53 we have defined as malicious. Okay. So here we have received this as malicious, means we have got that this is a malicious node in the output. Okay, node number 35 as well, it is malicious node, and similarly some other nodes might be. Node the source is 5, this is a malicious node. Okay, so receiver is now able to know that it is receiving something from a malicious node. Now what will happen? It has detected that this packet is not from an authenticated source, means something malicious is happening. What it will do? The packet might be some kind of virus or maybe something might be there. So it will not process the packet. Okay, if it is receiving anything from it, it should not process the packet. How that is done, I will tell you. Just one simple line you will have to write for that. But before, the small thing I tell you, if you want to search this kind of thing, okay, like I wanted to search malicious node, we found it easily, no problem in that. But when you write a long program, suppose 100 lines, 200 lines, many things you will have to print. In that case, what you do, always take your output, this kind of output, whatever you are printing in a text file. Okay. Suppose I am taking 1.txt. Okay. In 1.txt I have taken. So in this folder, which folder? In webinar folder, 1.txt is created. Okay, sorry. This time it got some error. That is why nothing is printed. Okay. So now see this. You will get whatever should be printed in terminal, as I told you. Whatever should be printed in terminal it is now printed in a text file. Okay. Now what you can do? If a malicious node, it is clearly visible by looking only, but sometimes it is not visible easily. So you can do what? You can just press Ctrl F and search for it. MALICIOS. Currently it will not show because it is the file is still opening. When the file is open completely, it will show you. If you look at this file, how many lines are there? More than 3 lakhs. Okay. 4 lakh, 5 lakh is going to be there. Okay, these much lines are here. Okay, it is opening again. So what you can do, you can just press Ctrl F and find. Ctrl F and search for malicious. Okay, it is still opening. Okay, this thing is also very helpful. Many times you have to print many things. Suppose for one thing you are printing something, for another thing you are printing something, and sometimes you will have to, some conditions come when one thing is working, but when are doing another thing, then this thing is not working. So whether both of those are working at the same time or not, these things you will have to do many times. So in that case, you should always take your output in the text file and search for it. Okay. Okay, let it open. It is taking a lot of time. Okay, so we will move forward. I think all of you understood whatever I was trying to say. Now we have done what? We have detected that if any packet is received from a malicious node or not. But we have not taken any action. Okay, what action we should take? So there is one more small command related to packet. If you see in the packet.h, there is a simple function Okay, wait a minute. Because of that text file, everything is hanging. It is a large text file. So leave it. This is a function named free. Okay, whenever you call this function with an argument part of packet type, then what will happen? That packet will be dropped. Okay. So whenever you receive anything from a malicious node, you just have to write what? Packet free. And here the value of the variable p, that is packet p. Here it is p. So we will do what? Packet free. And after it, we will print the packet has been dropped. Okay. So after dropping the packet, we will print a line, the packet has been dropped. So you can understand by looking it whether the packet is dropped or not. Okay, the file is opened completely. This file is of more than 12 lakh lines. Okay, so you can understand the simulation, how much simulation takes place. Okay, so here in this much of lines, actually terminal has a limit. If you see in the terminal, you cannot go up infinite. Okay, means you cannot, if there are 12 lakh lines, these lines cannot be incorporated in terminal. So that is why you have to take the output in some text file, then you search whatever you are searching. Okay, search for malicious, we have searched for malicious, we are getting something. Okay, so we are getting this thing, so we will understand that there are some malicious nodes. And if suppose we want to see whether node ID 91 is sending or not. If we search 91, yes, 91 is. So 91 is sending something. Like this we can search. Means anything we want to search, we can search using the print command. Okay. I will close this file because it is taking too much memory. And when you simulate your protocols, generally what happens, the trace file which are generated are in GBs. Okay, not in GBs, then at least 100 to 200 MB files will be there. Okay, if you actually simulate your real means protocol, whatever you want to buy, whatever you have proposed, not for learning purpose. For learning purpose, the trace files may be very, very small. As we can see here, that what is the value of trace file? It is only 4 MB. Okay, because we are creating a scenario for general purpose. 150 nodes are there, but we are using the data traffic these are small data traffic. Okay, but in real scenario you may have to transmit a large number of data packets. So these files may be in the more than 100 MB or 1 GB as well. So in that case, what you will have to do, you can keep a hard drive with you, or you should use the large amount of disk for Ubuntu, means large amount of drive for Ubuntu. Okay. Or another thing is, if you don't want to use, you can delete the old files. Okay. But for one simulation, if you keep all the files until you have not got all the results, it will be beneficial for you. Okay. Because a TCL file we are running, sometimes it may take more than 1 hour to run. Okay. Sometimes it depends upon scenario, what scenario we are simulating. Okay. Okay. So where we were, the packet has been dropped. So we will make it our okay. So again, I will not now take it in the text file. One more shortcut, one more trick I will tell you. I have stopped it in between. The simulation is not running now. How? By pressing Ctrl S. If you press Ctrl S, if you want to check something here, if you press Ctrl S, then the simulation will be stopped for that amount of time. Now press any key, the simulation will restart. However, it is not restarting. It happens a lot of time. I am pressing keys, it is not restarting. So we will have to start it again. And if you want to stop simulation in between, if it is taking a lot of time, wlab1.tcl. Let us search for any malicious node, whether it is there or not. Okay, there is no malicious node in it. I will rerun it. Okay, so we are unable to search in it. That is why I told you to get these outputs in a text file, because it is a little bit difficult to search in the terminal. Okay, I don't think we got again. Whenever we got malicious node, and if it is dropping the packet or not, that we will have to check. Okay, so that is what I am trying to check. Again, it is not there. However, you can search in the terminal as well, but however, it does not show all the lines. because some lines are beyond the limit. It is not there yet. Actually, we have designed a random scenario. That is why sometimes malicious node may come and sometimes may not. If it selects node IDs what we have given in TCL file as malicious, then it will show those as malicious, otherwise it will not. Okay. Oh, this is strange, it is not coming yet. Okay, we have defined around 12 variables, but it is not taking anything. Okay, it is not, we are not getting. I will try one more time by getting the output in the out1.txt again. Then I will leave it. If we still not get it, now it is coming. I think it is clear. Yeah. This is a malicious node. Right? You can see here, everybody can see the screen, right? This is a malicious node and the packet has been dropped. If you want to make sure that packet is dropped 100%, then what you can do, you can print either here or here. What? The command, the print command, whether it is printing or not, because it is from where the actual variables are working. So we will cut it from here for now and we will paste it here. Let us see whether it will work or not. But we have changed a lot of times. Some .h files I have been changing. So I will provide the clean command as well, and it will take for 2 minutes, around 2 minutes to rerun this. Okay, meanwhile I will be addressing the doubts. Okay, the things which we are doing on NS2, can we do same on NS3? Yes, obviously, even you can do, the NS3 is much more flexible. Why? Because NS3 is new. However, let me clear some doubts about NS2 and NS3. NS2 and NS3. NS3 is made in